You're welcome to the Messiah Revelation channel, which is an end time ministry dedicated to end time events. We are also a ministry awakening the Israelites, the Hebrews who are scattered all over the world. And today, our message is focused on prepping for Armageddon. We live in a time where the signs are very clear that the leaders of the world, the kings of the earth, are preparing for Armageddon. These kings of the earth are the kings who will be mobilized by the Antichrist to engage in the final battle with Yeshua, Jesus Christ, the Messiah who is coming. And it's very clear that they are preparing for Armageddon. Why do I say that? I'll just give you an opportunity to examine the events in 2023, the events since October 2023. You can call it the October surprise. 10/7, the event of 10/7, an event where Hamas entered Israel and caused death. And you can call it genocide, you can call it terrorism, you can call it whatever you want. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe unto those who call evil good and those who call good evil." And the event of 10/7 was a planned event. And what was the response? It's very clear that even though it was known in advance that such an event was coming, there were no preparations for it, no preparation to counter it, and that gives the impression that 10/7 event was a planned event. And not long before 10/7, there was a planned event in both US and Russia. The kings of the earth were prepping for Armageddon, and so they chose October 4th, 2023 to be the day for them to test their nuclear preparations for a nuclear Armageddon. America tested their readiness in case of an emergency, and Russia also tested their readiness in case of an emergency. So there's no doubt that the kings of the earth were preparing for Armageddon, but they didn't tell their citizens all the truth. The CNN will not disclose the truth. Al Jazeera will not disclose the truth. But there's a God who is in heaven who discloses the truth. And so if you're watching this channel, you remember I did a video, and in that video I talked about a vision where I heard a voice, and the voice said they are about to unleash. So I made a video about it, and the Lord reveals the end from the beginning. And not long after I made the video, you know, whatever happened, you know that in October 2023, the 10/7 event in Gaza happened. And you know what the response is? Response from Israel. And you are also aware of the emergency test that happened in both United States and Russia. A lot of people outside the US and Russia will not be aware of the emergency test. And that is the sad condition of the world, because in the days of Noah, many people did not hear the message because there were so many distractions in the world, so they did not hear the Noah message preached to the world for 120 years. In the days of Lot, so many people did not hear the voice of the angel of the Lord, and so they did not repent. And even the wife of Lot did not listen to the instructions of the angel of the Lord, did not listen to the instructions of the angel of the Lord, and the wife of Lot perished in the rubbles of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so, so many people in the world will not hear about the message of salvation, and those who hear the message of salvation will not care. They will not care because Satan has blinded them, so they will not know the truth. And this includes people who are pastors, those who are preachers, and those who are ordinary people. They are blinded by Satan, so they will not know what is going on. But what is going on in this world is that they are preparing to unleash. The kings of the earth are preparing to unleash, and on 10/7 they unleashed, starting with what happened in Gaza, in Israel, and continuing with the response, Israel's response to the 10/7 event, a planned event. It didn't happen just like that. It was planned for a long time. And even the response from Israel was planned, delayed response, with the intention that a strategic move will be um, will be proper. A strategic move will be used to deal with the situation, or is part of the prepping for the D-Day, preparing for Armageddon, global Armageddon. It confirms the vision that I had, that the world leaders are preparing to unleash. And for the world leaders, particularly Babylon, America, preparing for Armageddon has been part of their military industrial culture. The military industrial complex, the war mongering sector of the American political economy has always prepared for wars, and whether it's the Gulf War, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's Afghanistan, whether the war in Ukraine is part of the MIC, military industrial complex, or you can call it is part of the MIIC, the military industrial intelligence complex. And with 10/7, the intelligence sector of the MIIC made sure that nothing was done about 10/7, even though reports are saying that intelligence information told the leaders that event was coming. But all of a sudden, the most competent or the most respected intelligence organizations failed on that day, 10/7. And it's not surprising because it's part of the prepping for Armageddon. And the kings of the earth have already prepared. They have prepared for Armageddon, since the beginning. And so at this time, the kings of the earth, they are close to their bankers. And I was watching a video where the presenter said that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is even close to a nuclear bunker. And reports are also circulating all the time about the sighting of presidential doomsday planes in the United States. Reports are also rife about Putin holding nuclear briefcase. And of course, Putin also has his bankers, nuclear bankers, and so are the leaders of the military industrial intelligence complex in the United States. The billionaires of the times, the warmongers and the hawks. And it includes leaders and the US establishment, political establishment, and particularly those who are calling for nuclear war, including the senators who are saying that the US should what they call obliterate Iran, take Iran out, and strike Putin with nuclear weapons. They are preparing. Uh, they are preparing for Armageddon, and they know what they are talking is nuclear suicide, and it will lead to the destruction of the world. But they don't care. They don't care because they don't believe in God, and because they don't believe in God, they don't believe in judgment that is coming. They don't think judgment will come. They have been pampered all their life, and as you are aware, somebody referred to the U.S. Senate as the Millionaires Club. The fact is that majority of people who are in the U.S. Senate are millionaires. They have money, and the way rich people think is different from the way poor people think, particularly when it comes to Armageddon, preparing for war, preparing for nuclear war. After all, the rich people will not go to the battlefront to fight and die. They will be in their bunkers. They will not be enlisted. They will actually organize the martial law for the poor to go and fight. And unfortunately, the poor who is going to fight and die will die for his nation, but the death will be in vain. Because the Bible is very clear in Revelation 14:13. Blessed are those who die in Christ, their works will follow them and they will rest. And so if you fight in a war for your country, whether you fought in Vietnam, whether you fought in the Gulf War, you are a war veteran, you probably might have suffered post-traumatic stress syndrome. You might have had your leg amputated. But I believe that if you did not die and or suffer in Christ, then your suffering doesn't benefit you. What profited a man when he gains the whole world but loses his soul? You are a war veteran, you are well decorated, you fought for your country, but when the day of judgment comes, if you don't have salvation, you will go to hell. You will definitely go to hell because your name will not have been written in the book of life. And so those who are preparing for Armageddon, they think that there's no final day for reckoning the day of judgment. They are preparing for Armageddon, but they are not preparing for salvation. And I'm not only talking about the kings of the earth, I'm also talking about the ordinary people, particularly people living in Western societies. They are preparing for Armageddon. It means they will buy more guns, they will buy more food, and those who are rich will buy other things, medicine. And even Switzerland has, the government has given iodine tablets to people. Definitely is part of the preparation for Armageddon. And you also see unprecedented escalation with warships amassing around the Mediterranean in the Pacific. When the war in Ukraine started, definitely that was an indication that they are preparing for Armageddon. And they were talking about Article 5 of NATO, and they are talking about war. The warmongers were talking about war, and they thought that that war will start in Ukraine. They have not lost the false flags. There are so many false flags that they can plant. The kings of the earth. And 10:7, you saw what happened in Gaza. It was a planned event, and it did not come long after the planned event on October 4th, 2023, when both US and Russia tested their nuclear readiness. America has tested the Minuteman 3. Russia has tested RS-28 Sammat. They are preparing for Armageddon. And the event of 10:7 is a perfect event for the kings of the earth. Because now that American warships are in the Mediterranean, it will be strategic to think of striking Iran. After all, Israel has conducted simulations about how to strike Iran nuclear facilities. Even though some experts believe that Israel does not have the capability to completely knock out Iranian nuclear facilities, the leaders of the earth, the kings of the earth, they think they can do that. And even if they cannot do that on their own, now with American forces amassed around the Mediterranean, it will be an opportune time to strike Iran under America's nuclear protection. And so this is a time of preparation for Armageddon. And of course, the other side also have prepared for Armageddon. Iran and her proxy forces have prepared for Armageddon, and to them, wiping of Israel is part of the Armageddon mentality. And Israel also has what they call Samson option. If the existential, if there's an existential threat to the Jewish state, then they plan to unleash all their forces, um, including their nuclear strategic forces. That's why they call it the Samson option. The Americans and the Russians prepared for Armageddon a long time ago, and they are still preparing for Armageddon. And that mentality has influenced their doctrines, mutual assured destruction. And now they are even thinking that nuclear war is winnable. And some of these warmongers, both in America and in Russia, they think that nuclear war is winnable. And the Russians have what they call the dead man's switch. And if this theory is true, it means that even if Russia is destroyed by nuclear weapons from an enemy, and no human being is alive, there is a switch, a system that will allow Russia to respond. This is what they call dead man's switch. The mechanism will trigger a nuclear response even when there's no man left in Russia. Oh, they believe in their own might. But there's a Lord Elohim who is watching all these events, and he warned his servant that the leaders of the world are preparing, they are preparing to unleash. And I made a video about it, and some of you will believe in it, some of you will not believe in it. But anytime I make a video, particularly if the video is about a warning, an end time warning, I will make it, and then my Ezekiel duty will be fulfilled. And so today I'm telling you that the leaders are about to unleash, and I believe that they're about to unleash war, and it will be a different kind of war. As you are aware, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that the Americans and Russians are preparing to unleash unprecedented military maneuvers going on in the world. And the Russians have put their strategic forces on alert a long time since the beginning of the war in Ukraine. Is because they are preparing to unleash. And they will not tell you what they are going to unleash and when they will unleash. But you should know that at the time of making this video, so many nations are preparing for Armageddon. And I think they are waiting for a false flag. It's even possible that some of these war maniacs may instigate a preemptive strike to give them strategic advantage. And you know what that means? It means that the prophecies in the Bible will be fulfilled. And I want to remind you about a vision that I had in March of 2017, where I saw the words rapture and tribulation on a TV screen, and I also saw, I heard a voice, Apostle Paul and Saint Luke, and in the vision I realized that the rapture and tribulation will come after a major event that happens in the world. The vision was given to me in March 2017. I just slept for a short while around about 4 p.m. It is not my normal sleeping time, but it was during this time, the short sleep, that the vision was given to me, the vision about the rapture and tribulation. And so for those who are watching this video, I believe in the rapture, I believe in the tribulation. Even though the word rapture is not in the Bible, the Lord revealed to me that there's an event called rapture that is coming. There's an event called tribulation that is also coming. And both events will come almost at the same time, based upon the vision that was given to me in March 2017. And those events will come after a major event that happens in the world. And since that vision, I had a vision where a voice said they are about to unleash. And then I saw the image of President Bush, the former president of the United States. And I believe that the Lord was telling me what people are doing in secret, classified information that they are classifying about their plans to unleash. The leaders of the world, the kings of the earth, and these people are the agents of Lucifer, doing the bidding for Lucifer. And these are the leaders who Lucifer will gather at the great battle of Armageddon. The Armageddon that they are preparing is not the Armageddon of the book of Revelation. The Armageddon that they are preparing now is to satisfy the whims and caprices and the greed of the warmongers who are operating the military industrial intelligence complex in America and also in other parts of the world. They are the kings of the earth, and they are going to use events to do what they call a reset of the global economy. And the reset involves weakening the power of the United States. And don't let anybody deceive you. The agents of Lucifer are deceptive. And particularly when you listen to the presidents, politicians in America. The other day, I was listening to Donald Trump, and he said that if he comes to power, you stop the war. What a hypocrisy, what a blasphemy from the mouth of the man that I saw in the vision in July 20th, 2018, signing the New World Order. What a blasphemy from the mouth of a man who was responsible for the warp speed. He's talking about the distribution of resources for the event that happened in 2020. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of transgender, and that Supreme Court decision happened when Trump was president of the United States. Matthew 24 verse 4 is very clear. Don't let any man deceive you. Don't let any president deceive you. Even including presidents who are touted by their supporters to be the Cyrus of our time. Don't let anybody deceive you, including presidents who they swear to hold office, they swear on the Bible, but they don't believe in the Bible. They believe in the God of the Freemason, and it is the agenda of the Freemason to control the world, to reduce the population of the world. And this is the time that we are in. And that's why it's imperative for you to prepare. You should not be a prepper. The preppers are preparing for Armageddon by buying things and securing their property. But the best prepper is the prepper who is preparing for the judgment that is coming. And if you are preparing for God's judgment, it means that you need to prepare for salvation. You need to accept the gospel of the Messiah. John 3:16 says that if you believe in the Messiah, you will be saved. But our brother James also has said that faith without works is a dead faith. Let your works reflect your belief in the Messiah. They are preparing for Armageddon, but they are not preparing for salvation. You will notice that the thing that we are seeing is not normal. They are prophetic events. And don't joke, the final trumpet of heaven has already sounded. It is only God who knows whether the time is right for the final trumpet of heaven to sound. He knows the time that the final trumpet will sound, and it is a warning trumpet. And so when on August 27, 2013, in a vision, some man in a white apparel told me to look for the angel who sounded the seventh trumpet. Is a divine warning that the final trumpet of heaven has sounded. And that's why you see that nations are preparing for Armageddon. You see unprecedented amassing of American warships all over the world. And you see war drums being beaten in the corridors of power. And you see demonstrations. Some are demonstrating in favor of Pakistan. Some are demonstrating in favor of the Jewish state. But for you, you must weep. You must weep about the destruction going on from both sides. And you must be concerned for Jerusalem, because God has chosen Jerusalem as his dwelling place. And you should know that Gentiles will trod the city of Jerusalem until the time of the Gentiles are up. The Messiah is coming, and he knows who the deed of the land was given to the true children of God, not those who say they are Jews or Hebrews, but they are not, but they are part of the synagogue of Satan. The time is coming for the transfer of power, and it is going to be a transfer of power from Lucifer to the Prince of Princes, the King of Kings, and the Lord of Lords. Daniel 2:44 will be triggered. That's the time when the kingdoms of the earth and the kingdoms in heaven will become the kingdoms of our Messiah Yeshua. That time is coming. And when they are preparing for Armageddon, you should prepare for your salvation. Let them do what they are doing. Let the warmongers and the whoremongers do what they are doing. They are preparing for Armageddon, but you are on notice that it means that the time for your redemption is very close. And for the Hebrew Israelites who are scattered over the world, it means your Messiah is coming very soon and is coming to gather you from all the places where you are scattered to. And you know that the time of the Gentiles are up and they are going to fall in their own traps and they will be exposed. Thank you for watching this video. I'm leaving the links in the description box. Subscribe to the channel and share the video to all the four corners of the earth. Thank you.